For centuries, Halloween has been a night where the ordinary world brushes up against the eerie and the unknown. It's a time when shadows grow long, bonfires light up the night, and even the bravest among us feel a chill, probably because they forgot to wear a jacket. But this holiday wasn't always about costumes and candy. No, Halloween's history is woven with strange traditions, rebellious gatherings, and unforgettable mistakes, each shaping it into the night of thrill and mystery we celebrate today. Kind of like that one friend who always shows up to the party with a surprise that's actually just a broken piñata. From 16th century villagers begging for soul cakes to the fiery nights of the 1600s, where people burned effigies in defiance and probably burned a few marshmallows in the process, Halloween has left behind a trail of curious stories. Some of these moments are haunting, others are downright bizarre. Like that time someone thought a ghost costume would be great for a job interview. But they all have one thing in common. They changed Halloween forever. So, let's travel back through the centuries to discover the 15 most memorable Halloween events and missteps that brought this strange and thrilling holiday to life. Who knows, by the end you might see Halloween in a whole new light, or shadow as it were. Halloween traces its roots back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, celebrated around November 1st, when people believed that the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred, allowing spirits to roam the earth. This festival marked the end of the harvest season and the onset of winter, a time filled with uncertainty and darkness, much like trying to find your way in a haunted house while holding a pumpkin spice latte. Celts would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off malevolent spirits, laying the foundation for many of today's Halloween traditions. As Christianity spread, the pagan customs of Samhain were gradually absorbed into All Hallows' Eve, eventually morphing into the Halloween we recognize today. Yet, beneath the surface of costumes and candy, lies a rich tapestry of ancient practices, folklore, and rituals that highlight humanity's enduring fascination with death, the afterlife, and the supernatural, echoing a timeless struggle to connect with those who came before us. After all, if there's one thing we've learned from horror movies, it's that you can't escape your past, especially if you forget to check behind the curtains. Centuries ago, in 16th century England, Halloween nights were cold, quiet, and deeply rooted in tradition, much like my Aunt Edna's yearly fruitcake. Villagers and children would walk door to door, asking for small cakes known as soul cakes. In exchange, they promised to pray for the souls of the giver's lost loved ones. It wasn't about candy back then. It was about a heartfelt connection to those who had passed, with each soul cake meant to ease a spirit's journey to peace. So, while we're out snagging Snickers, let's not forget the original spooky exchanges were about heartfelt wishes, not just sweet cravings. Halloween wasn't yet a night of wild costumes, but a solemn evening of remembrance, each small cake a token for a soul in need, and definitely better than the usual trick-or-treat bartering. As Halloween traditions mingled with the November 5th celebration of Guy Fawkes Day, bonfires began to light up the countryside. Guy Fawkes Day marked the anniversary of an infamous plot to destroy the English Parliament. On this night, townsfolk gathered around roaring bonfires, sometimes tossing straw figures into the flames, often with cheers of defiance. Let's just hope nobody accidentally throws their neighbor's old lawn gnome in there, right? These massive fires soon blended with Halloween, adding a fierce energy to the holiday. Halloween became less about quiet prayers and more about the thrill of firelight against the night, where shadows danced and the air filled with a spirit of rebellion. What started as a night for honoring the dead now had a wild edge. Think less candles and quiet, more flames and fun. The tale of jack-o'-lanterns began in Ireland with the story of Stingy Jack, a man who tricked the devil and in death was left to wander the earth, neither welcome in heaven nor hell. Legend says he roamed the night with only a hollowed turnip lit by a burning coal. Now that's some serious lighting issues. Families, hoping to ward off Jack's spirit, would carve their own turnips, placing them in windows or doorways. When Irish immigrants brought the tradition to America, pumpkins, larger and easier to carve, became the new choice. I mean, who really wants to carve a turnip? And so, jack-o'-lanterns found their place in Halloween lore. A warm flicker of candlelight in the hollow of a pumpkin. a reminder of a cunning soul caught between worlds, all while we just wanted to figure out the best pumpkin spice recipe. By the early 20th century, Halloween had taken on a wilder side, with mischief replacing prayers. Young pranksters took to the streets, tipping over outhouses, soaping windows, and causing any havoc they could dream up. Honestly, I've never understood the appeal of soaping someone's window. Sounds like a lot of work. For a while, Halloween felt less like a holiday and more like an invitation for troublemakers. Communities found themselves scrambling to contain the chaos, often organizing events and games to keep restless kids busy. These efforts slowly shifted Halloween's focus from tricks to treats, guiding it toward the festive, community-driven celebration we know today. What had once been a night for solemn rituals became a mix of playfulness and neighborhood fun. Less whoopee cushion and more whoopee candy. In the 1920s, Halloween took on a new glamour. Lavish masquerade balls filled with costumes and elegance became the Halloween event of choice. People dressed as phantoms, queens, and characters of every sort, stepping into a world of mystery and make-believe. Imagine a bunch of flappers in ghost costumes trying to dance the Charleston. The night wasn't just about frights anymore, it was about creating a world where one could be anyone, even if only for an evening. These gatherings brought a sense of refinement to Halloween, making it a night for elegance and allure, because nothing says spooky like a top hat and monocle. By the 1930s, Halloween had a new twist. Communities, trying to steer children away from pranks, encouraged a new tradition, treats in exchange for good behavior. Soon, children across neighborhoods were going door to door in costumes, collecting sweets, and transforming Halloween into a night of innocent fun rather than mischief. Hey, if I wear this silly witch hat, I might just score a few more Kit Kats. Trick-or-treating quickly spread, and the tradition of carrying bags from door to door was born. In this small but significant change, Halloween began to look much closer to what we know today. A night filled with excitement, costumes, and candy, with each knock on a door adding to the night's magic. Who would have thought begging for candy could become an art form? By the 1950s, Halloween was becoming a business. Candy companies took notice of trick-or-treating's popularity and began producing small, individually wrapped treats perfect for handing out. Costume companies followed suit, offering ready-made costumes that anyone could wear. Halloween was no longer just a simple community event. It had turned into a holiday with costumes, treats, and decorations all available in stores. Why carve a pumpkin when you can just buy a creepy decoration? This was the beginning of Halloween's commercial transformation. What started as a quaint night of prayers and treats had become a bustling holiday, with families joining in to celebrate by stocking up on candy and costumes. Halloween had officially joined the ranks of America's favorite holidays, right alongside Thanksgiving, where the only thing scarier is Grandma's cooking. In the 1970s, Halloween grew even larger. Stores filled aisles with costumes, decorations, and every kind of candy imaginable. Halloween wasn't just a single night anymore, it was a season, with people of all ages eagerly preparing weeks in advance. Some folks might even start planning their costumes in July. Do they have a Halloween countdown calendar? Houses were decorated with fake spiderwebs, skeletons, and pumpkins as Halloween grew into a true phenomenon. I mean, who doesn't love a good skeleton lawn ornament? Halloween had become a grand celebration, a season that brought communities together in playful spirit, transforming entire neighborhoods. What once was an evening of small traditions had become a month-long spectacle. Cue the Halloween playlists. Not all Halloween gatherings were spontaneous. In 1914, Anoka, Minnesota, facing a bit of chaos each Halloween, decided to host a citywide event called the Halloween Frolic. There were parades, games, and festivities that gave the community a way to celebrate without all the trouble of mischief makers running rampant. The frolic became so popular that it inspired other towns to host their own festivities, paving the way for more organized Halloween celebrations. What began as a clever idea to curb chaos turned into a beloved tradition, uniting towns and neighborhoods in shared merriment. Now that's the kind of frolic I can get behind. In the 1940s, kids still liked to have their fun. Instead of getting completely out of hand, they would engage in harmless pranks, like toilet papering trees or ringing doorbells and running away. Classic childhood mischief. There was a fine line between tricks and treats, and kids learned to navigate it, often leading to entertaining tales of creative pranks. I can't help but imagine a group of kids debating which tree to toilet paper, kind of like an annual Olympics for neighborhood shenanigans. This period also highlighted the playful spirit of Halloween and the joy of getting a good laugh, even if it came at someone else's expense, like getting caught up in your own prank. The 1960s saw the rise of haunted houses as a popular attraction. Communities and businesses began creating elaborate haunted attractions, often featuring scares, actors in costumes, and decorations that brought nightmares to life, until you realize you just tripped over a fake skeleton. Families sought thrills and chills, and what better way to embrace the spirit of Halloween than by getting scared out of your wits? This newfound tradition added a level of excitement to the holiday, becoming a go-to activity for both kids and adults looking for a scare. Haunted houses quickly became a staple of the Halloween experience, each designed to take you on a journey through fear. They turned into competitive shows of creativity and scares, where not all thrills were just for kids. In the 1970s, horror films surged in popularity, shaping the cultural landscape around Halloween. Movies like Halloween, 1978, ignited a frenzy for all things spooky, cementing the idea of Halloween as a time to celebrate fear and thrill. Who doesn't want to be chased by a masked man while eating candy? Film became an integral part of Halloween culture, inspiring many people to embrace the holiday and indulge in frights. Movie marathons, costume parties, and themed gatherings became common, allowing the spirit of Halloween to permeate pop culture. These films fueled excitement, ensuring Halloween was a time for horror enthusiasts to shine. Suddenly, you weren't just dressing up, you were embracing a whole season of scares. In the 2000s, trunk-or-treating emerged as a family-friendly alternative to traditional trick-or-treating. It's like Halloween, but with way more candy and a lot less walking. Families would gather in parking lots, decorating the trunks of their cars with themes and passing out candy to children. This option quickly gained popularity, especially in areas where neighborhoods were less walkable or safe. It was a great way to create a sense of community while keeping little ones safe and sound. Now, parents could sip hot apple cider while their kids scurried from trunk to trunk, because, let's face it, you can't trick-or-treat without a little caffeine, right? With the rise of technology in the 2010s, Halloween embraced the digital age. Social media transformed how people celebrate, from sharing costume ideas to showcasing pumpkin carving skills that make the rest of us feel inadequate. Online platforms sparked trends and challenges, making Halloween a time for creativity and connection. Suddenly, everyone could participate in the festivities, whether through TikTok dances in costume or Instagram posts of elaborate decorations. Virtual haunted houses and online costume contests became the norm, ensuring that even during challenging times, the spirit of Halloween thrived. It turns out you don't need to gather in person to scare each other. You can just watch your friend's TikTok video of their horror movie marathon. Today, Halloween continues to evolve and influence pop culture. From themed merchandise and fashion collaborations to TV specials and music, the holiday has become a multifaceted celebration that appeals to people of all ages. It's a time when the spooky, the silly, and the downright bizarre collide in colorful displays of imagination and creativity. The mix of traditions and innovations keeps Halloween fresh and exciting, ensuring that it remains a beloved celebration where every generation can create its own spooky memories. So whether you're dressing up as your favorite meme or hosting a Halloween-themed trivia night, the essence of Halloween thrives in our hearts and in our endless quest for the perfect candy haul. As Halloween continues to grow, so too do our experiences and the stories we share. Whether it's through soul cakes or silly costumes, the heart of Halloween remains the same. A celebration of creativity, community, and a touch of spooky fun. Just remember, no matter how weird things get, there's always a good chance you'll find someone handing out candy at the end of the day, or a lost soul in search of a soul cake. So grab your pumpkin, pull on that costume, and let's keep the spirit of Halloween alive, one spooky story at a time.